Good afternoon, Mark Sutter with HurricaneTrack.com here with your hurricane outlook and discussion. The second one for today, August 22nd, 2017. Some pretty strong wording coming out of the National Hurricane Center now for what's the remnants of Harvey, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be Harvey. All right, it was Harvey, and it's going to be Harvey again. And here we go. So this is the 2 o'clock update. Satellite images indicate that an area of low pressure over the Yucatan Peninsula associated with the remnants of Harvey has become better defined during the day. Environmental conditions are conducive for development when this system moves over the Bay of Campeche tonight, and a tropical depression is expected to form over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico on Wednesday or Thursday and move in the general direction of the Texas coast on Friday. Interest in northeastern Mexico and along the Texas coast should monitor the progress of this system, as it could produce storm surge and tropical storm or hurricane force winds along portions of the Texas coast, and very heavy rainfall across portions of central and eastern Texas from Friday through the weekend. This is serious now. It really is, all right? It's going to not leave a lot of time for people to get ready. It could develop rapidly, especially close to landfall. We have seen this system, these types of systems before. This is not hype. This is not trying to, yell fire in a crowded theater. Nothing's a guarantee, but this has the look of the potential for being a big problem. And people that live in this area need to be ready for it. And the very heavy rainfall is going to be right up there with the other hazards. I guarantee it. That part I can guarantee. I don't usually get worried about something in terms of damage and loss of life, but this has the potential because of the rainfall later on after the system makes landfall, and of course, the wind and the storm surge issues, as this is likely to become a hurricane according to the global models. This is the afternoon satellite shot. There's the system there. Doesn't look like much now, but wait until you see what this is over the next couple of days. And I'm telling you right now, you folks along the Texas coast here, northeast Mexico, and maybe over into Louisiana, we're just going to have to see, and this includes inland areas. You need to be ready for this in a way that you haven't had to deal with in about 8 years since Hurricane Ike. This is not a Hurricane Ike that we got to see coming from a long way that crossed over and gave us all kinds of time. We're talking about from here to here in just a matter of about 3 days. And that doesn't give you much time to react. So put the plans into motion, know what you're going to do. Hopefully you've already done that by now. And get ready, because Harvey's going to make a comeback, and it's not going to be pretty. This is the 12Z run of the GFS. I want to show you this. Brand new run from this. Let's speed it up a little bit. There's the energy from Harvey coming off the Yucatan. Doesn't look like much. But as we go through time, this is about 48 hours right there. It starts to get its act together. The vorticity signature getting better defined, and then it heads up towards the Corpus Christi area and the lower to central Texas coast, really tightening up right before landfall. And it's that part right there, right before landfall, that worries me in terms of the coastal impacts. And then look what it does. It just sits there. And let me speed this up just a little bit more. It just sits there over Texas, and that is the recipe for tremendous flooding. We're talking about a day and a half that it sits there, maybe longer. And you also notice this little system over here, 92L, what's left of it, the remnants of it. We're going to have to watch that. What am I going to do? I'm getting ready to leave North Carolina to head over to this area and intercept this system. I'm bringing everything I've got, both weather stations, 4 unmanned cameras, plus our weather balloon, because you never know. This might be the one. And so, we're going to have this disaster over here, and it is. It's going to be a disaster. And then this is trying to develop a little bit. We're going to have to watch that over the next few days. So there's going to be a lot to keep up with while I'm on the road for sure. The 12Z track models just give you an idea. Somewhat of a tight envelope right down the middle here. Some of these other models I wouldn't worry about, outliers. They're kind of weird. But generally speaking, it looks like somewhere along the central to maybe lower Texas coast today. This could change. It could switch back to more of a hit towards the Rio Grande Valley. This could come in and slow down and just meander off the coast, which would just be horrible. We don't know. This is always going to be fluid. Even with something coming right at you, it comes down to, you remember Ike. We thought, well, maybe Ike could come in down here, and then it was up here, and then it was up here, and finally it turned in like that, as you recall. So every day that passes by, every 6 to 12 hours, new information is going to come out. I will post what I can on Twitter. I'm going to go back to this real quick before I sign off. If you are not following me on Twitter yet, now's a good time to do so. And I will be posting information there, and also to our app. And our app is called Hurricane Impact. 2 words. Everything we do goes into the app. That's a great way to follow what's going on. I'm going to be streaming live from the vehicle the moment I leave my driveway here in just a little while. But I will be posting on Twitter very often. As soon as I get something new or I find something from somebody, I can retweet it. And that's a great way to follow along. And that's, of course, in the app as well. All of our Twitter feeds are just pulled into the app natively, right into the app. Hurricane Impact is the name. I'll talk about that more as we get closer to a potential landfall here, because Hurricane Impact is really about landfall and impact, and that's where it really shines. And so we'll talk about it coming up. So again, there's the track models from 12Z this morning. The intensity guidance, pretty much all of it indicating hurricane strength. How strong of a hurricane remains to be seen. I do worry because intensity forecasting is where there is the least amount of skill. I'm not going to venture to guess, but if you plan for a category above what the Hurricane Center is forecasting, and let's just assume that they're going to go with 80, 85 miles per hour, then I would plan for a Cat 2, just to be safe. You plan for a category higher, and you can't go wrong. I mean, you can still lose your property. Don't get me wrong, this isn't going to necessarily save you unless you've taken drastic steps to mitigate. But if you just say, hey, look, I'm not going to treat it as a Cat 1, I'm going to treat it as a Cat 2, and therefore what do I need to do? And you act accordingly, and it really does help. Trust me, I've done this long enough to know, and that is good advice. So I'm going to be leaving Wilmington, North Carolina, heading back down to basically where I saw the eclipse, which was right here yesterday. But then I'll take I-20 across. I'm going to head through Atlanta, down to Montgomery, and then I'm going to stop in the Atmore area tonight. And then from there on across I-10 and into the Houston area tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep tomorrow night. Get everything ready. The Tahoe is packed. I'll take a picture and post it on Twitter. That'll be the first thing you can see if you're just starting to follow me. And then we're going to go from there. I'll be working with Carrie Mallory, and Greg Nordstrom is hopefully going to come down from Mississippi State. Where is that? Somewhere over here in the Starkville area, and join me in Houston. And then we have a good friend of ours down in the Houston area. His name is Todd, and hopefully he'll be able to help us out, especially if we're going to be launching the balloon. If this were to make landfall in Corpus Christi, let's just say, we do have a pretty wide area up here that we could recover the payload, but we'll get to that later, maybe getting ahead of myself a little bit. Even if it's a well-developed tropical storm only, in terms of the wind, we would still consider launching that weather balloon, especially if it's during the daytime. We're just going to have to wait and see. All right, so I'm going to be producing these updates while I'm traveling, and I'm going to be live on YouTube in just a little while. We'll call it by 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'll be live unless I'm sleeping. And when I'm not sleeping, it'll be streaming live. So I encourage you to follow on YouTube. Our subscribers to our HurricaneTrack Insider, sign in if you haven't done so in a while, especially our Texas subscribers. Check that out. We'll have the interactive chat there as well for just our members only, and a bunch of other good information for you guys. This is what it's all about. We track these things, and when it's time to make landfall, we're going to take you there. But it's not just hurricane chasing. That's not the appropriate word for what we're doing. We're going to set up equipment. We're going to give you a look at what's going on, provide helpful information from the site of landfall, wind data, pressure data, and it's all of our equipment. It's ours. We developed it, most of it, and you can't get that from anywhere else. I mean, I know I'm bragging here, but I'm so proud of it, and we got a great team and a great group of people that have gotten this far over the last 20 years, and each hurricane is different. This is not a hurricane yet, obviously, but it looks like that may be the case, and we're going to be ready for it, so thanks for following. Alrighty? Well, that's it from me from here in North Carolina. Next, I'll probably do an update when I get to the hotel tonight. Quickly, probably look at the GFS. If it's real late, I'll look at the Euro. But it's time. It's time to go. Time for people to prepare. And I'm getting ready to hit the road. I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in just a little bit live as I head towards Texas.